Hey guys, what is going on? This is Reaper Fear bringing you another TENCHU Z playthrough part, and I believe this is part 15, 14 or 15. Alright, so before this video gets underway, I'd just like to say leave a like rating if you like the video, because that means you are a cool person, and you definitely want to be a cool person, don't you? You know you do. Anyways, and remember, if you always want to see more, just remember to subscribe. I do put up content every day. And so let's hop right into the topic, and that is part 2 of my sex and society kind of topic. So let's just get right into it. Like I was saying before, sex is very, very underplayed in society. It's like, sex, whatever. I mean, people have it. I mean, it's all natural, organic, I guess. So, I mean, it's very, very underplayed in society, and since it's not very taught, kids have to learn by themselves of what sex is, and most of them do that first through pornography or erotica, mostly pornography, and then, of course, they experience the real thing for themselves, only to figure out that it makes life a lot more complicated than they really wanted it to. And, I mean, teenage pregnancies, and I mean just all sorts of like STDs, teenage pregnancies, all that sort of thing. It's really hard to be a teenager in this world, I will definitely say, because we have to learn from the internet and from everything else, because, or not everything else, but the internet and experience, because no one is willing to teach us. And that was very true in, not my case, but I know for a lot of cases of my friends in high school. I have always been very mature for my age, so I learned about sexual intercourse when I was probably about 12. It was just, I mean, I already knew the mechanics behind the whole thing, but my parents sat me down, had to talk with me, and my parents were, I mean, my dad is pretty much useless when it comes to things like sex, but they tried their hardest, and I really appreciated that, and I think it did teach me a lot, and I think it is definitely something that needs to be taught more, either at home or at school, because someone needs to go and slap a sticker on a porn movie and say that says, this is not how this works. Real sex is kind of boring, actually, if you look at it. It's one person on top of another with a little hip movement. It's pretty covering, and it's probably not very sexy. So, I mean, and everyone's expecting like the doggy style, blah blah blah, kinky girl. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Most girls are pretty, I mean, especially most teenage girls, I mean, unless they've been around the neighborhood a couple times, and those are the girls that, unless they're the right ones for you, that you don't really want to be associating yourself with. But I'm not going to say that no one is right for them, because someone is right for everyone. And you can be the two most mismatched people in the world, and everyone says your chances of success are low, but no, just ignore them. It doesn't matter, trust me. And everything will go well. So, sex in society is so underplayed. I mean, I did say this. Holy crap, there's a bug that flew down my leg. Hate that. Sex is very underplayed in society, but very overplayed in, I mean, we're so exposed to it, just the idea of sex, and it's really taken the name, it's taken the act out of the name, because most people just see sex like sex appeal and pornography and things like that. And while it isn't really like that, sex is for reproduction. It's not something, I mean, women seek sex appeal constantly, and it's something that few very rarely ever find. Sorry about that. It's something that few very rarely find to their satisfaction, because in this world it is so hard to be an attractive woman now, because you have to be a size 0 and wear 6 pounds of makeup every day in the eyes of our society, which is really, really disappointing. To me anyways, because I really like the natural look, really. No makeup to me is, I mean, don't get me wrong, makeup is, I think makeup's fine. My one stipulation on makeup is that I think it should be sold so that a girl can feel better about herself, not look better for other people. Because there are some girls I know who are terribly insecure, and they need the makeup to give them that boost of confidence so that they feel better, and they have the confidence to go out and meet other people and do all that sort of thing. So it was, I mean, makeup is very useful in that manner, but in terms of what some women use it for, it's misused and misadvertised, and just sometimes it's just gross. Something that should be applied sparingly and for effect, and not for for a enhancing effect, not for a replacing effect. You should not be trying to replace your physical features with something that isn't true. But sex in society is since the idea of sex is there, no one ever talks about the actual thing. So I think most people are so desensitized to the idea that the actual thing is different to them than what sex actually is. And so they end up very confused because of the way that society portrays sex, and from the way that they perceive sex, which is usually synonymous with the way society sees sex, which is, I mean, very over-dramatized, very overstated, flashy clothing, very revealing clothing, and I can say I mean, exciting clothing is nice, but it's not there to teach us. It's there to look nice. We have to find a balance between what our society portrays sex as and what we learn as about what sex actually is. And this, I think, is very crucial because so many people run around. I mean, I have nothing against casual sex. I think it damages people more than they think. But people are running around, I mean, bastard children, and yes, I will be call them bastard children, but bastard children and all that sort of thing. They're very common nowadays because people, I mean, it wasn't as bad as it used to be. People have actually heard of birth control now, and condoms and things like that. So it's less impact than it used to be, but it's still prevalent. Like, there are still teenagers running around having kids. I know, like, at least 3 in my school that had kids before they actually graduated, so they weren't doing so well. Anyways, I cannot say endless things about this because I think it's very important. I'll end with the fact that I think sex education definitely needs a huge revamp, giant revamp. It needs to be taught by parents and by the school. No, they need not to shirk off responsibility on the other party. Sex needs to be toned down in the media. It needs to stop. I mean, Vogue magazine, like the Sweet 16 magazine, Teen Vogue, whatever, I don't care, needs to stop. And people need to get back to the grassroots. I hope you guys liked this video, and just liked it, and if you want to see more, just remember to subscribe. This is Reaper Fear saying peace out for now.